Hi, hello. You know how people say that the trauma that they've been through has made them who they are today? For the longest time, that's how I thought about myself. I thought like my personality and all the good qualities that I have are just based on the pain that I've been through and like kind of the person that emerged from it. For some reason, recently, just me thinking about it, right? Because it's not really something that I talk about necessarily a lot, but like just thinking about it suddenly felt like I was doing myself an injustice. Something started feeling just wrong and incomplete. And then I had someone ask me actually that if I think that I would have been the same person now without the pain that I've been through. Honestly, that was really hard to answer, and I think no one can obviously pinpoint exactly what experience has made them the way that they are today, right? Like, I don't think it works like that. I think it's the exact combination of every single little thing that we've been through that has made us who we are. But then that led me to this conclusion that I'm going to talk about now. If I credit the person that I am today to the pain, who was the person that was strong enough to shoulder that pain in the first place? Who was the person that was able to carry me through all that trauma in the first place? That shifted everything for me, because all of a sudden, all these like attributes about myself that I thought emerged past pain were something that were always within me and were always present before that and through that, and that's how I got through it in the first place. And I decided from then on that like I don't want my story to be that of pain and trauma anymore. Like, has that pain that I've been through and like all those like traumatic experiences obviously influenced me, impacted me? Of course. But so has all the love that I've been continuously experiencing throughout my life as well. So have all the choices that I've made despite the pain and because of the pain and because of a million other reasons and despite a million other reasons. Shifting that perspective made me feel like my book is not over yet. Because before that, and I think that's what I mean when like it started feeling like incomplete to think that, is I felt like the book was already written. I felt like the character in the book was already written and it just revolves around that trauma that I had. Like, that was it. The story might continue, but that's already the focal point of the story. You know how like you have a book and there's like a whole lot of pages and chapters, but like at the end of the day it's one genre, right? It's kind of one genre, and the genre was trauma. And once I started shifting from that perspective, the trauma just became like one chapter of my life. Like one chapter that has like colored my journey, but it didn't become my entire journey. But obviously I believe that there are like very good reasons like why we frame our past like that and why we frame our person that we are today like that is because when we go through like very traumatic experience, especially when you're younger, it's like a situation that you had very little control over or like no control over, right? So like taking that and like being like, okay, I'm taking this pain and taking something that was horrible, right, and like where I didn't see the light at all while I was going through it, taking that and like alchemizing it into something that has made me like an amazing person is like a way to take charge of it, right? It's like something that like it goes from something that has taken away all your power to becoming empowering for you. So I think that framing is like very helpful and like can be very helpful for a very long time. But I think at some point you deserve to know that you're more than that. You're way more than just a personality that was built on the grounds of pain. And I think doing that can feel a little scary. That's how I also felt a little bit, because it almost made me feel like something bad was gonna happen. Like, I don't know, it's like almost like if you continue to like have this like horrible experience that you went through, like if you continue to have that kind of at least in the back of your mind, but sometimes, as I said, like even as like the main character in your story, it kind of makes you feel a little more secure because you're always bracing, like you're always like you're remembering that pain so like it doesn't happen to you again. There's this notion, there's this feeling of like, if I forget about it, it might happen to me again. Like I might not be prepared when it comes again. So like if I remember it, I'm keeping myself safe. And then what that does also is like you don't trust joy anymore. It's like because you always have that in the back of your mind, and it becomes the focal point of your life. You know, even if you framed it in a way that it helped you become a better person, the focal point remains pain and trauma, right? And I think what that does is like it keeps you from freely experiencing life, you know, because you feel like you're always looking for the pain to re-emerge from some corner, you know, because that is just the story that exists at the moment. And as is always the case with like scary things, is like the only way through is out, right? Like we have to teach ourselves that we can live a life and a story outside of the pain that we experienced, right? And the framing doesn't begin from now on or like in the future. The story was always one of you being the hero and the main character that got you through every single situation, that already carried all the great attributes necessary to make all the choices that were necessary for you to have this positive outcome. It's not the pain itself that's the main character, it's you. It's always been you. And that being said, of course, it's not really something that you can force. You know, I feel like I just wanted to like offer you this seed of thought, and like you can just see where it takes you, because for me that's all it was. Like there was a hunch of like, my story does not feel like it's making myself justice, so like that's how I felt. And then I've had this conversation, and then it just like, you know, it had this like ripple effect to like the conclusion that I got through now, is that like, yeah, my story was actually incomplete because I was only telling it from this one perspective, and I was always focusing on all the pain that I went through. But I don't want to focus on the pain that I've been through anymore, because I'm so much more than that. Like I'm choosing so much love, and I'm experiencing so much love, and that's what got me through it in the first place. Now that being said, like you're free to think of your own story the way you want to think of it. It's your story at the end of the day. I'm just saying that it might be worth it to think about a different framing that might be a lot more beneficial to you, because we think that that's the peak best possible framing that we can have, is like the pain made me this great version that I am today. But I think it's so much more empowering to always attribute that to yourself. To yourself. The pain was a situation that was thrown to you where you had to prove those attributes, but it was you that carried you through all of it. It brings the center back to you, not the pain. So I'm interested to hear what you think of this, because even for me, it's like a fairly new perspective, honestly, but I felt like I've thought about it enough to like at least make a video about it. So yeah, I'm really curious to read and see and hear what you think. So please let me know in the comments below, and I will talk to you very, very soon. Take very good care of yourself, and I'll see you soon. Bye.